Prime Minister, it's wonderful to see you and welcome to the World Government Summit.
Hello, yes. Hello, everyone.
So there are many topics that we could discuss, but we're going to focus on leadership in this conversation. And of course, you have been Prime Minister since September 2023. You've also been Minister of Welfare, previously Interior, and a lawyer by training. So a lot of experiences on leadership, but importantly also, of course, governance. And I wanted to ask you, how, at a time of incredible change, can you ensure efficient and effective governance?
First of all, let me say, I believe if you want to lead and you decide to be a politician, you need to believe in positive change. The change is possible. Otherwise, you will not have the inner force and the goal where you want to go. Second thing is long-term vision, long-term leadership, and believing in long-term sustainability. And third thing is strong leadership, because the person who will lead the country needs to have strong values. And everyone will be looking at the leader. What are the values the leader does? How does he act? And what are the main priorities they set for? So therefore, I believe leaders are mainly now the persons where the values are set, and if a leader can set a good example of his values and can address directly, like in some kind of this format or in social media, speaking directly to the society, explaining their values, I believe it can really help to let your society, your voters, people in your country to believe that sustainable growth and leadership and governance is available.
And of course, this is having set and clear values and fundamentals is important at a time of great uncertainty.
Yes.
And we live in a time of uncertainty, where the global order will go, technological change, economic change, climate change, a lot of change. And yet, how do you make sure that you have that clarity in leadership, but also making sure that your citizens, those who vote for you, can continue to have trust and faith in your leadership?
There is no idealistic world. And we all want to be and live in a perfect life. We all want to be prosperous and healthy. So therefore, for a leader, it's really a big challenge in so many changes you mentioned to find the good solutions, how he can or she can deliver those messages and how the changes can happen. When I started as a politician and I formed the government, I set 10 main goals, but all of our government will succeed. And we did it in 100 days. When society see clear, achievable results, and they are achieved by their government, they really believe in you. But sure, like for Latvia and Baltic states, we are a country which is near to Russia and Belarus, and it always has been a very sensible issue of security. So sure, there always be some doubts about our people's security. And for me as a leader, and I believe for everyone, and as well I see here in Gulf countries, listening to some of the discussions about Gulf countries and peace here, everyone is concerned about peace. Because when you wake up in the morning and you need to think about security, it's not a good solution. No politics will help, because people need to feel secure on their streets and at home. This is my priority. I believe we all, as a government leaders, need to provide for our people. Then sure, it's health. Everyone is concerned about their health. Therefore, many companies now provide good solutions for health issues. So we need to answer to those questions which are very important to our people. And otherwise, without innovation and economical growth, there will be no prosperity. This is, I believe, one other question where all of our societies needs good answers. And building bridges between different societies, building political cooperations, it really helps for maybe not such a big country as ours, but I believe we are a great nation with great ideas. It really can help. And for such a countries as ours, we need to be good diplomats and to build good international relations. We are EU country. We are NATO country. For example, Ukraine, we share with Ukraine the same history, maybe different present, but I believe very courageous future. And therefore, it depends what we can make a deal with our society as a leaders where we will go. Because without securing our society first needs, health issues, prosperity, and above all that security, probably there will be not good changes available. People will be concerned about their very fundamental rights.
And there are those immediate concerns, of course, for citizens, security being paramount, and then, of course, prosperity. And here in the UAE, often that's the two dynamics of having security and stability on one hand, and also prosperity. Part of your visit here to the UAE, you're thinking about building bridges. And a lot of politicians talk about building bridges. What does that actually mean? How do you see building bridges, for example, between countries that are quite far apart but have quite a bit in common between Latvia and the UAE?
Believe it or not, but we are actually building really a bridge politically and with our businesses. I found the World Government Summit amazing platform as I'm first time here, where governments, private sectors, NGOs meet together, scientists can explore each other's ideas, and our country as well as yours are already collaborating together. For example, your big company, Eagle Hills, MR, are already investing billions in our real estate company in Latvia. And I know that some of our businesses are already investing here and has reached already the best prizes for innovating ideas in your health sector, working with artificial intelligence. So those are really a good practices, how businesses can co-work, but as well, there goes government. That's why I'm here, but actually business people came first. So if we collaborate together, I believe those ideas which we share with your country, and as well UAE is not as well such a big country as Latvia. So how far maybe we are, but when I met leaders of Gulf Summit in European Council, where all the European leaders met together and we discussed all the priorities what we have on our table in Europe and their countries, we actually are sharing the same problems and issues, but we have the same opportunities. What depends how we will use those opportunities, what priorities we will choose in a certain moment of life. And therefore, I believe with building bridges, like I'm here, many other countries are coming here, we can provide more dialogue to maybe difficult situations. We really have to go forward with dialogue instead of war and something aggressive. Baltic states gained their independence from Soviet Union when we stand together, three nations, through all the countries, by holding hands and singing songs. And that's how we get independence from Soviet rules. We want peace, but we are very strong inside. We are a really strong nation, but because we really don't want wars, we know the price of freedom.
You've spoken powerfully about the need for peace in your region, in your part of the world, and we too, in our part of the world, always hope for peace. I want to ask you about your bid for the UN Security Council elected seat. What is your priority to join the council, but also how can you see peace in your neighborhood?
Yes, so UAE actually was recently leading the council, and they've done a tremendous work, and I'm really grateful for what they have already reached. And we will follow up with women, peace and security in our agenda, especially making our priority on violence against women, because I believe every positive change can start within the family. If there is a violence within family members, then no healthy adult men or women can grow. So therefore, we really need to work on to those priorities, because we want our society to be healthful. Why we want them to be healthful? Because we want good business people, we want good employees and employers. Therefore, this will be one of the main topics, and sure, we will be the ones who will speak about peace, We really hope that there will be peace in Ukraine, in our region, in Europe, as we believe there will be peace in your region here, because it's not okay that in 2025 we are solving conflicts with arms.
Now, I want to ask you about your citizen-centric approach. This is something that you, clearly from what you're saying, thinking about the home as a nucleus for healthy adults and citizens and people who can thrive in the economy, but also lessons that you've learned by thinking about a citizen-centric approach. What lessons have you taken from your time as Minister of Welfare, Minister of Interior, of putting the citizen at the heart of decision-making?
I saw in the beginning of this conference, in the opening remarks, maybe we should think that GDP is not the main goal we need to reach. And there was an estimate, maybe quality of life and well-being of our people is the main target. We will have to look in long-term planning. And I believe this is my approach for quite a time. GDP is really a good example, but imagine how many countries with really high GDP doesn't have this good quality of life. I will not name them, but health, mental issues, air, climate change. So therefore, this is one really particular thing where we have to look maybe not from outside, but how people feel from their inside and how they feel about themselves and their country. And about gender balance as well, and equality between ages. If there will be different leadership with women participating, different ages of people participating, younger age, older generation, then probably there will be much better decisions looking from 360 around like circle position. But this is something I have learned, that society really needs answers which sometimes are not so far to be looked for, but they're very close, but they're the most difficult ones.
You spoke now about the importance of understanding what to measure. GDP is important, but you need to measure quality of life. You also spoke, of course, when you first became Prime Minister, having very clear targets and communicating how those targets are met. So how do you choose what to measure? Because what you measure often is an indicator of where you will go.
Probably I don't have a recipe to offer, but sure, it's a very challenging way. To be a leader and to be a politician and to be a women politician, it's even twice more difficult. Because you will be measured and you will be challenged. But I just can say to leaders and to young female and to young men, don't be afraid. Because we need to show by our example that changes are possible, and we work for our future, we work for our present as well. Therefore, positive changes is something we can experience. And really, my suggestion would be just follow up your dreams, don't be afraid, speak directly, use social media. It really works with younger generation, and even grandmas are looking now on social media, looking for recipes and listening to politicians. So this is really, sometimes it's very challenging. Social media gives very different opinions, but from other side, it gives a different opportunity for us to speak directly, to address the electorate, and to hear from our society very directly as well what really needs are be resolved right now. And education is probably one of them, health will be next, always. So there is those cultural changes, probably in different countries something else, but without education, without healthcare, without security, there will be no future.
The fundamentals for a brighter future. Thank you very much for sharing your insights. Please, a round of applause to show appreciation for the Prime Minister of Latvia. Thank you so much for your insights.